States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Township Board of Supervisors meeting was called to order at 6:30 p.m. on October 7, 2015 at the Buffalo Fire Hall by Chairman Carl Rudinsky with the Pledge of Allegiance. A motion was made to approve the minutes as read. Gutal, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. Public comment. Joel Deben submitted to the board an alteration of requirements of the driveway ordinance, Section 10, Design Standards for the Barry and Terry Deben subdivision plan from Burgett & Associates. Frank Paust asked several questions on the procedure of variances and that the proper procedures were not followed. Chairman Rudinsky stated a letter will be given to the engineer and zoning officer on the proper procedure for variances. A motion was made to grant a variance to the plan for the driveway permit to be issued by the zoning officer. Gutal, Smith-Gall, motion carried. A motion was made to grant the AOR for the Barry and Terry Deben subdivision plan. Gutal, Smith-Gall, motion carried unanimously. John Heffenfinger complained about the grading done in front of his house. Chairman Rudinsky explained why it was done. He will check on the issues John has. Tony Trost, Third Mountain Surveying, presented the Robert and Karen subdivision plan to the board. The letter from DEP in 2010 has confirmed the original planning was approved. No new building is being proposed. A motion was made to grant the waivers from Section 304, preliminary is final, and Section 307.1, sheet size. Rudinsky, Gutal, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to conditionally approve the plan, with the condition being the plan requires the owner's signature. Rudinsky, Gutal, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to sign the DEP non-building declaration. Gutal, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. Solicitor, the POSIC matter has been dismissed by payment of the permit by the residents. Zoning officer, 5 permits were issued. Supervisor Smith-Gall questioned what was being done on a property near Angie's Diner. Bob reported the trailer is being removed and an office building is being built reusing the well and septic. The SEO has visited the site. The question was asked if this requires a land development plan. Bob stated this is a commercial lot that was non-conforming use to a conforming use. A zoning permit was issued last month. The footprint of the land has been changed. It was determined that a land development plan does need to be submitted. Bob will visit the site again and check with BIU to see if a building permit was issued and explain the situation. Engineer, in Jerry Spee's absence, Supervisor Gutal relayed that in regards to the general permit for the firehouse, Jerry should have more information within a couple weeks. Fire company, the secretary reported that the agreement with Susquehanna Highlands is that within 30 days following settlement on the sale or residential occupancy of any lot in the subdivision, they agreed to pay $400 per lot to the New Buffalo Fire Company. The River Mist Phase 2 and or Phase 3, with the same conditions as Susquehanna Highlands, shall pay $500 per lot to the New Buffalo Fire Company. Unfinished business, status is saldo. Perry County has sent their comments to the township and they've been sent to the Planning Commission. Audit 2013-2014. 2013 has been completed and the report filed with DCED. The revenues exceeded the expenditures by $25,798. Frank Powell stated it was a spot audit and not a full audit. DCED has accepted it as the required audit. It will be advertised as required. New business, a motion was made to hold a workshop meeting on October 28, 2015 at 5 p.m. at the municipal building to evaluate the Act 537 proposals. Rudinsky, Gutal, motion carried unanimously. The township will be sending out a letter explaining the Act 537 to the residents in the future. A motion was made to allow the secretary 10 extra hours. Rudinsky, Gutal, motion carried unanimously. Brian Reifsnyder asked if the Act 537 committee members will be involved with deciding on which proposal will be accepted as they have in the past. No, they will not at this point. It's a decision for the supervisors to make. Trick or treat will be October 31st, 2015 from 6 to 8 p.m. The same as Duncannon. The secretary will be on vacation from October 12th through the 16th. Frank House asked about the house down at the Burger King from last month. Chairman Rudinsky stated it's being worked on. A resolution needs to be passed adjusting the funds expended compared to the budget figures. Planning Commission, there was no quorum to conduct business in September. A motion was made to pay the bills and any bills that come due before the next meeting. Gutal, Rudinsky, motion carried unanimously. A motion was made to adjourn the meeting. Drew Towerdinski, motion carried unanimously.
I get a motion to approve the minutes as read.
I'll second the motion to approve the minutes as read.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay.
Let me see, you over here for-
No, I don't see anybody that's Richmond's not here. It was on the paper.
Stop public comment.
Okay, well, would you, you're going with that Richmond plan? If all the conditions have been met, so we can approve that.
Okay, first they have waivers.
The waivers we have to approve.
The waivers for the Rebecca L. Richmond and Jeffrey P. Roberts plan, waiver request. Section 304, preliminary plat procedure. Since this plan is for lot additions only, a waiver to this section is requested. Section 305, preliminary plat specifications. Since this, can't talk, I'm sorry. Since this plan is for lot additions only, a waiver to this section is requested. Section 307.1, final plat size of 17 inches by 22 inches. Section 307.1.w, contours at 5-foot vertical intervals. Since this plan is for lot additions only and no earth disturbance is proposed, a waiver to this section is requested. So, you want to make a motion?
Somebody make a motion to accept the waivers as read?
I'll second the motion for, sorry, I'm sorry.
Approving the waivers.
All in favor, aye?
I have from Jerry, all the conditions have been met. He said everything is fine and ready to go. He's checked the plan, so they are signed, they're sealed by the engineer. So I don't know if you want to look at it or if you want to. Jerry's, let's see, the ag note at the bottom of site data. The drain easement and small stream on property map has been added. The note under lots 3 and 4 on the lot plan explains the 2.002 acre net area after conveyance of the lot additions. And Jerry says that all of that has been completed and done. Well, you need to make a motion to approve the plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan.
All in favor, aye?
Did Glenn second that?
Yes.
Yep.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Okay, we have nothing for the solicitor, right?
No.
Zoning officer, 2 permits were issued. The engineer is supposed to have that permit by next week.
Yeah, I talked with Jerry and he said,
Do we skip over public comment?
No, we just have public comment right here.
Was the plans that you just did?
Yeah, right here.
Does the public get an opportunity to comment? Do we get an opportunity to comment under public comment?
Yeah, you can comment.
Well, one of my questions is, if there's nobody here for that subdivision plan, why is it under public comment?
They were supposed to be here. Someone was supposed to be here for
Okay, if
that.
there's nobody here, why is the subdivision plan taking up public comment time?
was
Well,
just
it could have been
because-
moved, we just realized no one was here.
So why are
It
any
could have went
plans,
down to
why
the
are
planning
any
commission.
plans under public comment?
What's the point of having them sitting here during the whole meeting, waiting to get to the planning commission?
Well,
Maybe I should adjust the agenda to put the planning commission at the top.
I think that would be better, yes,
Okay.
because it does encroach into public comment period. And then, just what happened just now, happened at last month's meeting also. We skipped right over public comment and moved right on with the agenda.
Okay, you got any public comments or anything?
I do. Last month, we talked about the zoning officer saying that a temporary permit was issued, and as you recall from the planning commission meeting, Jerry Spees said that he did not tell him to issue a temporary permit. And I'm wondering, you said at the planning commission meeting also that you were going to talk to him about it, and I'm wondering what the status of that is.
Yes, he has issued a regular permit now, because it shouldn't have been a temporary permit, it should have been a regular permit. So that's where we are.
So my comment is,
Yeah.
when the zoning officer was here about a year, he charged some fees, despite our fees being listed online. He charged some fees off the top of his head. We wound up refunding some money, and we wound up eating the cost for what we didn't charge enough for. All right, that was over a year ago. We had to do that. Since that time, he screwed up other stuff. Now he's lying to the board at the public meeting, telling the board and the public that Jerry Spees told him to issue a temporary permit. And Jerry Spees sat right at the planning commission meeting and said, I told him no such thing. And you sat there, Carl, and heard Jerry say that.
Yes, I heard it.
Now, what does it take for this board to realize that there's something wrong with the zoning officer's actions? And how are you going to correct it? I've been asking for years. You guys all know that. And you tell me I'm picking on the man. It's not picking on somebody to say, what's going on? I think it's reasonable that the board needs to look into this, and it's more than reasonable that the board needs to correct the situation. It continues to happen. When it happened the first time, oh, we'll fix it. When it happened the second time, oh, we'll fix it. The third, fourth, and fifth time, now here it is happening again.
Fine, it is being remedied. We are working out a situation that would, I think,
Carl just said nothing happened.
well, I'm talking about how things will work out in the future. Okay?
I think us as a board need to look at what he's issuing before he issues it.
Right, and that's what
Yeah.
we talked about, the idea of the possibility of maybe running things by,
The board before he issues the
yeah,
permit.
and by Jerry, because Jerry, I talked to Jerry, he can do it in like 10-minute increments, which would be, so you get $60 an hour, so it would be like in 10-minute increments, we're talking about $10, $15, for Jerry to possibly review some of the things. That way, we're not going to run into any snags, and if we do, Jerry will have already caught it.
So let me get this straight. We're going to pay our engineer $60 an hour or whatever he gets paid to do the zoning officer's job.
Not to do the zoning officer's job.
It sure sounds like it.
Well, no,
It is
it's
that
it's a backup method.
Yeah.
And you know, you're asking for solutions, otherwise we have to pay someone some big money, because actually Bob Hart's doing it for, what, $20-some an hour? He's
Right.
also working in another township, which they are completely pleased with, so, you know, the only other option we have is to go to someone else, like Mann or something like that, and he's like, what,
Not just
$20 an
hiring
hour?
somebody that knows what they're doing instead of makes things up. And the man made up the fees, the man made up the story about a temporary permit. When somebody makes stuff up, if he was working for you in your office and he made something up, would he be an employee? My answer would probably be no. So my question is, why? You sit here and say he's saving us money, but in this next breath I hear you say it's going to cost us more money by an engineer having to basically review all his work.
Right now, that's a methodology that we could start if we wanted to. I did talk with Jerry about it, just if there are things that are coming up, and also Bob Hart will run things by us, so it's going to be run by us first. So there's a check and balance situation. At least we are doing what you've asked for.
Moving on something to get it straightened out.
Yep, at least we're, you're asking for something to be done, okay. We've just talked about implementing two different methods. Going through us, having him bring the presentation to us as to what he's doing. Also having it run by Jerry. Jerry can take a look at it. And Jerry said, 10 minutes, he said, 10 minutes of my time, he says, I can pretty much nail it. So, whatever it is, unless it's something long and involved. So that's our answer at this point.
And do you realize that Jerry has been doing the zoning reviews for the subdivision plans?
Pardon me?
Jerry has been doing the zoning reviews for the subdivision plans that have been coming through.
Okay, so what is the point?
Well, you tell me, Pat.
Well, what?
Whose job is
Frank,
it
you know what?
whose job is it to do the zoning?
You know what, Frank, let's.
No, please answer the
No,
question.
you know what? What
Whose
you
job
do,
is it to do
Frank,
zoning?
what you do at every meeting, there's always something that you tend to raise. Sometimes they're valid points, sometimes they're not.
It's
Sometimes-
perfectly valid to ask why Jerry's doing zoning and not the zoning officer.
It's a valid question.
Well, that's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jerry
That
had,
Jerry's doing.
you look at
because
the
I
reviews
give-
from Jerry, every month he has zoning issues on it.
I give Bob Hart a copy of every plan for him to review for the zoning issues.
And he may do a review, but he presents nothing to the planning commission. Nothing. Jerry, if you read Jerry's review, every single one of them usually has a zoning comment on
why is that a problem?
it. Because we're paying an engineer to do our zoning officer's job.
You just want to get rid of them, Frank.
No, I
Fix it.
don't.
Yes,
I want
you
to
do.
correct the problem, and you're giving me nothing to correct the problem. You're
Well, I
gonna
think
try
Bob
this and
just,
that.
he needs some guidance. He needs a policy set for
The
him.
man sat here 6 months ago and boasted about being certified by this class and that class.
Yeah.
What good did it do? He turned around and lied to us. Again.
Okay.
Now, you guys want to do everything you can to keep the man. And I don't understand why, after all he has done to this township.
Oh, and let's not even go there, Frank, okay?
Has
Well,
Bob
no,
Hart,
it's the honest truth. He's cost us money.
And you haven't? Let's not even go there, I'm saying.
He's
okay?
cost, I'm not employed as a zoning officer. The zoning officer has cost us money by his own actions, deliberate actions. And you guys want to defend him. And I don't
No, I'm
understand
not
why we
defending
keep
him,
paying out
I'm
of
trying
our
to
own pocket.
remedy a situation and trying to come out with other scenarios. Okay, because anybody else we hire, competent or not, according to you, is gonna cost us far more money. So if we did a compilation
know
of,
Yeah.
using Bob Hart at $20 an hour and 10 minutes of Jerry's time, which is another $10, $30 an hour, we're probably not gonna find someone who's gonna be able to do the job any better
You
with
don't
that
know
combination.
You don't know that.
Well, Madden's what, 125 an hour.
But we're not talking about Madden. We're talking about a citizen who can actually do the job without lying to us.
Okay.
has Bob Hart issued that stop work order on that property near Angie's like was discussed last month? Noticed there wasn't anything in the,
That's all going through the state, right.
it's going through the state?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, because he has to, well, we'll go down that.
Did Bob get anything on the tearing down the building at the Burger King?
He has had a fairly severe accident. He had fallen off a trailer and he had a concussion, a severe concussion. So he's been laid up for a while.
And actually, Sonny isn't around right now.
2 months. 2 months ago, I brought that issue up.
Sonny isn't around to talk to him.
2 months ago?
Yeah, it's being worked on, Frank.
It doesn't sound like it, I'm sorry.
I
It
mean,
just
he
doesn't
comes
sound
down
like it.
shaper and he
2
needs
months
to
is,
do it.
it's not ridiculous for me to say 2 months ago I asked.
Okay, the engineering, well, we were on that. SEO, there's no report, there's nothing from the fire company. And we have unfinished business, we have the status of the salvo. That's gonna be reviewed by the planning commission on Wednesday night. Our audit, and for 2014 has started. The driveway committee proposal.
What's the status of the 2013 audit?
Huh?
The 2013 audit?
It's completed.
Has it been
completed and
advertised?
advertised.
Yes, it has.
And has it been adopted?
No, they did not adopt it.
That's it.
And has it been sent to
It's been
DCED?
advertised.
Yes, it has.
How can you send it to DCED before it's adopted?
Easy.
It's an honest question. How can you send a draft ordinance, a draft audit, to DCED?
You file it.
You file it.
Yeah,
What if it's wrong? What if the board comes up with something that's wrong with it?
yeah.
It's just a question. I think you were premature in sending it to DCED before the board acted on
Well, we paid a public accountant, you know.
it. When will the 2013 audit be adopted?
Adopt it now.
I
Let's
can't.
do it right now.
What?
We can do it right now.
Yeah.
You all reviewed it.
You want to make a motion to adopt the 2013
Yeah.
audit?
Maybe your motion.
Just kidding.
Okay.
I mean, sorry.
Okay, you made a motion to
I'll second.
Second, all in favor, aye. Okay. All right, 537, we have to table that because there's new information been given, so we'll have to work on that. And then we have this letter going to the residents.
Excuse me, can you please report what new information was given?
Speak up, Frank.
What new information was given on the 537?
They're changing their rates and we're changing things around.
From the proposals,
Prices, huh?
from the proposals that were put in?
Yeah, they're giving us a different option for the cheaper rate. So when they get that, then we'll go from there. Okay, we got this information letter to send out for 537. Now, up here, the trail thing, which you was asking about before, they have to get a land development plan. They're working in wetlands, so we have to contact the county, and they have to send a man over to check the whole thing. And he can't get a occupancy permit
Okay.
until everything here is completed.
All right.
Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
That's,
So who's going to contact the Conservation District?
I can do that.
I mean, I'm just asking, that's fine, but, give someone a direction, or
yeah.
you want Jerry, you want Pat, I mean,
Actually, Jerry's following through on it, so let's.
well, he had mentioned this to me, and he said that he will not do anything until the board directs him to
Okay,
do that.
let's make a motion to
Yeah, Jerry.
inform Jerry to check with the conservation people and handle it so they get it straightened out. Made a motion.
That's
Second.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
The only thing that we didn't go over, the driveway committee proposed ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion. I'm rescinding the motion that I made at the August 5th, 2015 Supervisors meeting, asking the township officials to bring comments on the driveway committee's driveway ordinance to the planning commission for comment. So that's what I'm rescinding that motion.
So there's no comments?
So there's no comments for the, no, it's as if I never made the comment, to have them send it to the planning commission.
I see.
All right, and then,
Motion to rescind
yep, I
the
made
motion,
the
so then you would second
second
on that motion, please.
second on that.
Second that. All in favor?
And then also making a motion to send 4 proposed amendments that I've drawn up to the township, current driveway ordinance to the planning commission for comments. And those will be given, now I'm not making, don't get me, don't misunderstand me, I'm not making any motions for an amendment, I'm not making amendments, okay, right now. I'm making a motion just so I can send some comments that were made and proposed amendments to the planning commission, essentially. So
Okay.
I'm going to give them a copy of something next week.
Are we going to see those
You
comments?
will see them next week,
Okay.
okay? So I'm going to get a second on that.
I have a question on the motion. Why weren't they already sent?
Why wasn't what I already said?
Your 4 proposed amendments, why haven't they already been sent?
Because I just made them up.
Well, you've got 4 or 5 months.
We're talking about 2 different things, Frank. I'm not talking about the comments that I had said that the township officials were going to be proposing, coming up with their comments. I'm not talking about, I rescinded that just now. Okay, that was rescinded, all right?
Okay.
Now, what I'm doing, I'm talking about another set of motions, that another 4 amendments.
You're talking about your comments on the driveway.
We're talking about 2 different things. One was rescinding.
No. Forget your rescinding.
Okay.
Are these your comments on the driveway ordinance?
Not the one that is proposed by the driveway people, ordinance people,
Committee.
committee. I'm talking about ones that are proposed for the original driveway.
So what's the status of the, okay, I'll ask that question next. If this is completely different, this has nothing to do with the
With the one that was
proposed driveway.
proposed by them, no, nothing to do with it at all.
All right.
Two separate issues altogether.
Edgar, your plan is all okay here, we have to do a sign.
You need me to sign?
And we can sign it right now. You can go.
Well, he can't, because the planning commission has to sign that. The plan was approved, but we need to get the planning commission to sign.
They'll sign it next Wednesday,
Okay.
and
Then,
we'll sign it,
Okay.
okay?
Sounds good.
But it's all through it.
Both. Angela's.
Everything is done, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
right, thanks.
So I apologize, I was confused. These amendments are for the current
The one that's
existing
in,
driveway.
that one that's in force currently, yes.
Is this something that's gonna be, drag this out for another 6 months or another year or something?
No, I think it will be fairly expeditiously.
It'll be pretty quick, it'll be done.
Will it be done right at the planning commission meeting, Carl? You said you don't care if it takes 6 years, so why don't we review this a little longer?
Well, it'll be done, but the south door will be done first, and that'll be done. And really, we don't have to listen to anything Evans have to say.
Oh, thank you for putting that in a public meeting. Thank you, Carl, I appreciate that.
But I mean, you're starting it, and I'm giving you an answer. Okay, we're moving on. The roadmaster, we're painting some lines.
Well, I'm sorry, I said I would come back and ask my question after you acted on that. What is the status of the proposed driveway ordinance?
The status right now is rescinded. So it doesn't go anywhere until we
No, you
redo it.
rescinded a
The
motion to
public-
send comments.
The public comments, so right at this point,
The driveway ordinance is still in existence in the planning commission's hands.
Right.
The
It can
proposed
be,
driveway
yeah.
ordinance. And I'm asking, is that the correct status? You rescinded a motion,
Right.
simply a motion to send comments.
Right.
Now, the driveway ordinance still exists, the proposed driveway ordinance.
you're talking about the proposed one, right? Once these comments go to the planning commission, the ones that I have created, they will take a look at them and see what they think.
They'll go run along, but the south
And
door
what is the status of the current proposed driveway ordinance?
is done.
It hasn't,
It's ready for your adoption,
well, but we're not going to adopt it the way it is.
but the planning commission's comments are ready to come to you. If they recommend approval of the proposed
If they
driveway
recommend approval,
ordinance.
then we'll go that route.
No, then we
But we're
would
not.
take a look at what
What
they,
what
but
they.
right now, I think there are some other things. on
They
the-
recommended approval back in
They
May.
didn't recommend
Yes,
approval back in May?
Yes, they
In
did.
May?
Yes,
Yes.
they did.
In May.
Yes, they did.
I think
I
that's
don't
right.
think so.
Let it go, guys.
They-
We'll take care of it.
They sent it to you in May, and you said within 30 days or 60 days, you would have an answer from your solicitor. Do you recall that? You recall, I'm not gonna say whether it's May or June or whatever, but
Whatever it is,
it came to the
it's-
board,
it's-
and the board said within 60 days, we'll have an answer from the solicitor.
Right. The solicitor hasn't given us an answer.
So it's ready to go, because you have your answer from.
Did you ever give it to the solicitor?
Yeah, yeah. Right.
I would like to make a comment that the planning commission is an advisory board. The supervisors may take their advice or may reject it. That is in the second-class township code. Thank you.
Not when you've got 400
Okay,
signatures
we're
on
gonna
the
move
petition
on.
today. I'll correct you on that.
Okay, the planning commission report, you have that, Nancy, October minutes received.
Oh, I'm sorry, well, you know what, just to
What's
consider.
the matter?
Okay, what did we, what
we
happened?
missed new business.
Okay. Because what happened is we jumped back to this, so
Yeah,
you've
okay.
done this one now, we're on the new business.
Okay, the budget meeting did yet, we needed a date and a time. So what,
When's the latest we can have that as far as?
It has to be adopted by December 31st.
Okay, so.
It has to be available for public inspection for 20 days. It has to be advertised.
Okay.
The budget itself, the proposed budget itself. So the sooner
next week?
we do it, the better.
So are you saying we have to pick a date for for a meeting at this point, right now?
Yes,
We should pick a date, yeah.
That's what I'm just trying to figure out if it'll be into November, or can we wait till the beginning of December?
no,
No, we gotta
Okay,
do
we
it
got it
now.
now.
What's your schedule, Nancy, on evenings?
Mondays and Thursdays I'm not available.
What days?
Mondays and Thursdays I'm not, so, you know,
Can we?
I have to, if I get it in the paper tomorrow, we could have it, well, we could do it Thursday evening, the 12th.
Oops, here, oops. Oops. Oh, I see, okay, that's because I'm gonna be,
There's early because of Veterans Day, so I have to have the advertisement in Thursday by 4 o'clock. Has to be at least 24-hour notice, so the paper comes out Thursday, or Wednesday, or Tuesday. Then, I mean, the 12th, 17th, 19th. I would prefer to have it the week of the 9th, though, so we can get it.
That'd be next Tuesday, right?
no, she's talking about the 12th, right? You're talking about the 12th? Or no?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So just talking here.
Thursday, the 12th.
Is that a problem, Glenn?
No,
Do you want to?
What?
12th of which day? Is it December or November?
No, November.
November.
I'm trying to make it.
What time?
What time people
Well, you know, Glenn, is it later better for you? 6:30, I mean, 7,
No, that's fine, 6:30 is fine.
6:30? At the municipal building,
Yeah.
okay? Do you think you'll have time to review the Act 537 plan information by then to make a decision?
Yeah, we should be able to.
Especially when we get all the rest of the information.
He gets, it is,
Okay,
gonna send the rest of its stuff.
okay, so then at that point,
We can do both.
well, that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
because we're getting too far behind on this.
Okay. Yeah,
So the Act 537 plan also, okay, 6:30.
What's the date on it?
November 12th at 6:30 at the municipal building.
Okay. You got that?
Okay.
And you're saying about the order of RFP. Okay, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I think we should rehear Fortenwald.
okay.
I'll make a motion to advertise an intention.
Didn't we just get 2 write-in auditors?
3,
3 write-in auditors?
they can still audit without Fortenville, with or without.
It's the
No, I
board's
mean-
decision.
I mean, why are we hiring somebody if we have 3 auditors elected?
For the purpose of complete and professional impartiality, to make a motion to advertise intent of the supervisors to rehire CPA Fortenwall to conduct our 2015 audit. That's our motion.
Well, my question is why?
It keeps it
They can't do
impartial
anything.
that way, there's
Yeah,
no,
they can't do
it's
We
a totally
have
separate.
3 auditors elected, and you're paying them $6 an hour, and you're gonna go and spend $1,500?
It's not 6 hours.
It was the advice of the solicitor. I mean,
This is legal action.
the board was talking about this before any auditors were ever elected.
Well, that's fine, but now we have auditors
And do they
elected.
know what they're doing, Frank? And do they know how to conduct an audit? Have they
Well-
gone to any classes? Are they gonna go to any
They're
classes?
elected auditors.
They still do, they still
Does
have a
any
part.
supervisor
They
who's
still have a
elected,
part. They
does any
still have a
supervisor
part
who's
in it.
elected know what he's doing when he comes in on the first day? The
They
answer is
still
no.
have a part in it.
What?
It's $1,500 wasted.
No, it's not.
Of course.
Well,
It's gonna be done right, and it's
it's
gonna be
not
done,
said to do this, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, well,
and there's
you
no,
are the supervisors, not your attorney.
right, but
You
we're gonna
have the
take-
right
right.
to run us into debt, not your attorney. You have to make the decisions, and you're running us into debt. It's as simple as that, because you don't
We got the
trust the people.
$20,000 that you cost us.
No,
we
no, no,
can do
no.
a lot.
I didn't cost you a damn nickel, not a damn nickel,
Guarantee you.
not a damn nickel. And you just remember that. I did not cost you a nickel.
Okay.
Okay,
You're running us into the ground.
Well, the Board of Auditors can still do the audit. The Board of Auditors can still do the audit. It's an independent board.
I mean, we'll work it out.
We
There's
will.
no problem.
No, the Board of Auditors will work it out.
Okay.
Yep.
We got the plans for
Excuse me, was the
Snyder.
motion made?
You got tissue?
Yes.
We made a motion for,
Oh, right, yeah, you made the motion, right?
Doesn't
Okay, you said-
matter.
yep.
We were on. Okay, the Snyder, you got that revised, he has,
They haven't sent the plans in for, or did they? Yes, they did. They need signed by the planning commission.
is that all it needs?
That's all it needed was for the owners to sign the plan, and they did. And it has to wait for the PC meeting to get those signatures that are required.
Okay, the Richmonds are,
We just did Richmond, so we're done with that.
it's done, so all they do is they can sign it. Okay,
What's the line painting on the road master?
what?
Line painting on the
I
road
think we need
master?
some lines on these roads, because you can't see in the morning when it's foggy.
Yeah.
How do you intend to paint them this time?
We're painting.
We're talking about that right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about that today, whether we're gonna do it ourselves, or most of the hired people that do it out, they're done for the
See,
season.
the hired people, they're done painting for the season, so we have to do them ourselves when we cut the points. I picked up some paint today.
Well, the reason I asked, to be honest, is the last time we painted both white lines
Yeah.
and one yellow line in the middle.
Right.
And we had to use the money out of our general fund.
Right, we did, yeah.
If you would have painted one additional line down the middle, we could have used liquid fuels funds. It would have been an approved painting. That way we don't drain our general fund.
The reason, I mean, if we could use our own base paint, we wouldn't have a problem of losing lines, everybody.
I'm
That's
not
what the
arguing,
state paints.
I'm not arguing whether we're gonna lose the line or not. I'm saying,
Yes,
the
what you're
method we
saying is
used last time, if you
everybody
simply
else is
added
using
one more line down the middle,
One line is plenty.
we could have used liquid fuels fund.
Yeah, we
And it
don't.
would still cost a lot more money though.
It'll cost 1/3 more, or 1/4 more.
I was along when they were doing that.
Excuse me?
I don't think I was along when they were painting the lines last time.
You pay by the line.
Right.
So it's gonna cost 1/4 more.
Right.
But you're gonna take it out of liquid fuels instead of our general fund. And that's expensive to paint lines. All I'm saying is please keep that in mind if you decide to hire a firm and decide to do the white lines. We never did white lines until this last time.
Yeah.
And I understand the white lines. But why pay it out of the general fund and drain the general fund if we can use liquid fuels money?
Go ahead, Sean.
I just have a question. You're saying about the lines. I'm one of the people, I can go all crazy hours of night. So I drive in a full quite often.
Yeah.
But is there like a better material that we can use for these lines? Because,
You only got a latex paint, that's it.
okay, I didn't know, that's why I was asking.
Now, if you, that's why you see the state painting 2 and 3 times a year.
Yeah.
For that reason, it disappears.
Okay.
You can't get it.
I didn't know, that's why I was asking. I didn't know if there was
Paint
maybe
anymore. Right.
something you can get for a nickel more that just
Yeah.
sticks more or whatnot.
Yeah, no, you could get a better paint, it would hold out a lot better. But, you know, the oil base is going by the wayside.
Right, you never know what for type of weather you're gonna get either. Okay, thank you.
I've got a question here. Is this Board of Supervisors going to try to prevent the Board of Auditors from auditing the records?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I mean, no time at all. I mean, we will work. I mean, you are elected as an auditor. I mean, not you.
No, we got 3 auditors here.
3 there. So there'll be,
I'm just asking because if there's a dispute, then the township ends up paying attorney fees. And that can just cause a lot of problems. Why not just let the auditors do their job? What's to hide?
This was advice from our attorney.
I don't care who it was from.
Well,
I don't care, yep, that's right, I don't care who it's from.
well, and the ends are all attorneys.
They're elected by the people.
The Board of Auditors can go to the Court of Common Pleas and get an attorney. And then the Board of Supervisors and the township has to pay for it.
That's right. right.
Why do you want to do that?
Yep, guarantee you.
Okay, wait a minute, move on. Okay. You get the approval to pay the bills.
As far as paying, where does,
Nope.
I think they should.
I received a phone call today. What had happened with Falk Road, when they did the paving. They did not, all they sent me was a statement. They didn't send an invoice, didn't send delivery tickets, nothing. So she called me today wanting to know where payment was. I said, no, we had a contract for this. There's paperwork that you should know that you need to give to us, and I need the delivery tickets and the invoice, and I asked for someone else to speak to, and she did not, at that point, transfer me to anyone. But I do have those delivery tickets, and it's something that,
Is this something we can pay them before the next meeting? I mean, it's been a long time since they've been paid. If they submit their proper paperwork, can they be paid
yes,
before?
as
the
long
next
as they
meeting?
submit the proper paperwork,
Okay.
yes, yes. And it's through the liquid fuels. So they know that there are certain forms and procedures that need to be followed, and they know that. So that's something that I need to talk to someone higher up than the accounts receivable woman, which I intend to work on next Wednesday. Any questions on the bills? Donna had asked about the pass-through. That's just, state money to the township that we don't get to keep. We just pass it on to the Firefighters Relief Association.
What's the legal fees for down there? $1,370.
That's just phone calls, not just phone calls. I forget what all was on that invoice, but there's more than just phone calls.
Is that the every time you talk to Linus bill?
No,
There's a bill in there probably from him that I think we're allowed to look at them.
you don't have anything to hide.
Yeah, I know, it's just,
No.
And he's pretty detailed on his bill for the fire department.
Yeah.
He tells you what he did.
Prepare for and attend Posiac hearing, $337.50. Talk to Nancy, Pat, the EADS group, review the EADS proposal for the meeting, $148.50. Letter to Posiac, $108. Review letter to EADS, $67.50. Letter to District Justice regarding Posiac, $94.50. Another letter to Posiac, $108. Review motion and Hunter appeal, research and email with Kendall to talk to Nancy, $189. Another letter to Posiac, $67.50. So that's the legal fees.
Any other fees?
That answer your question?
So you spent almost $700 to harass a guy. It's a good job.
Right. That's a slippery slope you're on, because he did not follow the law. And you were backing someone who did not follow the law.
Actually,
There is no statute of limitations.
we can discuss the zoning law as far as the structure not being stationary. He can move it around. It was not zonable.
Why didn't they tax him for it?
The district justice didn't think that that was true, so.
How do you know that?
Yeah, how do you know? Were you
Oh my
there?
God, were you there?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
I
were
was there.
We were there, how do you know that?
Were you in the courtroom?
No, we weren't allowed in a courtroom.
Weren't allowed.
And you weren't there.
He's my neighbor. I was down at his house. I saw it when he put it up and everything. Wheels and all.
I'm just saying.
It was attached to his house.
It was not attached to his
No,
house.
wasn't
He moved
attached.
it around like 3 times.
Yep. was
And had
not
wheels
attached.
on it and everything. It was not stationary, and the zoning ordinance of 2001 says it needs to be stationary.
It was not attached to his house.
So it was not, and the building permit thing was complete and total nonsense because it was less than 1,000 square feet, and that was in the initial letter to him as well. So you tried to nail him for a building permit as well, And that was just completely out of line.
It's just a zoning permit, so I didn't need it.
No, I've got the letter. It's a building permit as well in the initial enforcement notice.
I'm just telling you what was actually needed.
Well, the official letter then was completely wrong.
Okay, anybody else got anything on the bills? I maybe get a motion to accept the bills and pay the bills as come in.
I forgot the resolution. It's on top of my computer. We did that, I'm sorry.
You made a motion?
You did, I guess, did you second it?
I second that.
All in favor?
Okay,
Some resolution and something.
yes. Yeah, I mean, yes.
What's that?
The resolution for the budget.
Yeah.
I left it on top of my computer,
Oh,
and I laid it up there and I forgot to bring it.
What
I
resolution?
made mistakes.
For the budget?
The resolution regarding the budget with Trevor and
Oh,
line items.
Okay,
I do have it, I left it on top of my computer.
okay.
I'm not perfect.
yeah. Somebody give me a
No.
motion? Go ahead.
So, is there anything that we clerk should do?
Not at this point because I don't have it.
And do it on a computer? I don't know, you
No,
No.
I don't have it.
don't know. Do I have it in the township?
Well, I didn't email it. You don't have access to the computer.
No, I don't, but I have the.
It's sitting on top of my
I
computer.
got you, okay, so there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Okay, on the township email, I got it, I got it, okay. Okay, I got it, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Get a motion, give me a motion to adjourn.
I have a follow-up question from last month.
Huh?
Last month, we talked about being over budget, and you said that you were gonna cut back.
Yeah,
Well, you actually spent more this month.
we still have a little bit of torn to do too.
Well, that pass-through, Frank, that $7,000, the money was deposited last month and the check was written this month. So that's,
If
you
take
know, almost
$7,000,
$8,000. Yeah.
If you take $7,000 off of 21, you're still at 15,000.
Well,
I mean,
we still have to pay the employees and the taxes.
that's what we were talking about last month. When are you gonna cut back? And I saw in one of those numerous letters that came out, you said that you spend less in the last 3 quarters, or the last 3 months of the year. I wonder when that's gonna start, because we're still overspending.
We have to do a little bit of patching to save the roads, yeah. And then put the plows on, and then that's it till the snow.
That's what you said last month.
I know. And get a motion to adjourn.
God,
Go
God.
ahead.
You had told me about you were gonna come out and look at the roads. and
Yeah, I
I
did.
I saw you go by, but you never got back with me.
Well, okay, well, I can meet you next week down there.
Well, I don't want, I'm done with it because
Yeah,
there's all the roads in this township. I drove around all the roads. My wife was driving, we drove about 10 miles an hour. You can smile at me and think I'm
not
sick
smiling.
crazy.
And we
Well,
got
I
so
get
many compliments at the polls. It was amazing how many people came up to us and told us how great the roads were. There are some patching jobs to save the roads.
Well, wait till people go into where they cut the roads back, and that's what I had talked to Carl about. The guys came along with that plow on there and cut the roads back and took the dirt away, which the grass holds the soil from eroding, and it's not a state mandate that they do that. I already talked to DEP. And,
I mean, the people down at PSACs, when we had the seminars, that's what they told us to do. Told us to get the grass away from the edge of the road. See, first they came out and said, let the grass there. Then the last couple of years now, they said, get the grass away from the edge of the roads. So I can
The
show.
state does it every single year on every single mile of road.
absolutely, I know, they told me that, they do.
Well, what are you talking about then?
Well, just go down some of the roads, Glenn, and it's this much of a drop down into the ditch.
Where exactly?
Where at?
Where
Pardon me?
where at exactly?
Whenever you come out from town and the road splits, either one of them, they're way down in, and I had other people talk to me about the roads. If they go off in there in the snow, they're gonna have to call a tow truck to have them towed out.
you tell me where's that way, and I'll,
Well, you're the head guy, you should know, you should be riding around looking at it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.